Hi, my name is Kaylee, and you're watching the Youth Code Jam Bits and Bytes Puzzle Club Session 3 video. In this video, we'll be going over some of the puzzles that we did today together as a group in case you'd like a refresher or just a reminder of how this kind of puzzle works. So today's video will be on Sudoku puzzles. It's a number puzzle, but don't worry, you don't have to do really any math to be able to complete one of these puzzles. The only math I would say is counting between 1 and 9. And I have faith that you can do that and that you can solve this puzzle. So let's get into how a Sudoku puzzle works. So you'll be given a partially filled in grid, and your goal is to fill in all of the squares using the numbers 1 through 9. Every row, every column, and every box must contain the numbers 1 through 9 with no repeats. And here are some strategies for solving a Sudoku puzzle. Look at the bigger picture and the smaller picture. So you'll be going back and forth a lot between the whole grid and little sections of the grid. We'll use process of elimination, which might take a lot of patience, but I believe that you can do it. And finally, we'll look at the grid in lots of different ways. So 2 strategies that I use to solve a Sudoku puzzle are looking by number and by area, and those will make more sense as we go along. So here's our first example. We have this grid here, some of the numbers are filled in, and our job is to complete the grid so that there are no more blank spaces. The way I see it, there are a lot of 2s on our grid, so maybe it's good to start with the number 2 and try to figure out where else we might be able to place 2s on the board. So remember that every box, column, and row needs to have 1 of every number. Let's look at this square here. So remember, we can only have 1 2 in this box, 1 2 in every row, and 1 2 in every column. I see a 2 in this row here. So we know that this square can't be a 2 because there's already 1 2 in this row. I see a 2 in this column here, so there can't be any more 2s in this column. And I see a 2 in this column here, so we know there can't be any more 2s in this column. So if we've taken out this column, and this row, the only place left for us to add a 2 is the square right here. So let's go ahead and fill that in. See how it works? Now let's take a look at this square. We'll eliminate anywhere where there's already a 2 in that row or column. So I see a 2 right here, which means that these 2 squares in the same column can't be 2s. I see a 2 here, which means that this entire row can't be 2s. There are no more 2s in that row. And I see a 2 right here. So we know that neither of these squares in the same row are also 2s. So we've taken out this column, we've taken out this row, and we've taken out this top row. Well, there's only one option left of where we might be able to put a 2 in this box, and that's the center square right here. So let's fill that in. What other numbers might we be able to fill in? Looking at this square here, I see that we know exactly where the number 4 is supposed to go. Can you see why? Well, there's a 4 right here, so no more 4s will go in this row, which takes out these 2 squares. I see a 4 right here, so no more 4s in this row, which takes out these 3 squares right here. So if there can't be a 4 in these 2 squares, or in these 3 squares, but there needs to be a square, number 4 somewhere in this box, well, this square right here is our only option left, in between the 8 and the 5. The only place where we can add a 4. So let's go ahead and fill that in. Let's take a look at this box again and try to fill in the number 8. Can you see where the number 8 belongs? Well, this 8 right here tells me that no other 8s belong in this row, so this square can't be an 8. And this 8 right here tells me that there are no more 8s in this whole row, so this square and this square can't be 8s. So if this square can't be an 8, and these two can't be 8s, then where's the only place left for us to put an 8 in this box of 9? This square right here, in between the 6 and the 5. So let's place down our 8. This square is almost filled in. So we're going to switch to a new strategy and see if we can list which numbers might fit in the box. So if you remember, every box, so every grouping of 9 squares separated by these bold lines, needs to contain the numbers 1 through 9. So we're going to count up and fill in all of the possibilities. I see a 1, so we're good there. I see a 2, so we're good there. But there's no 3 yet. So what we're going to do, since we're writing down the possibility of where a number might go, is we're going to use tiny little numbers to show that the number 3 might go in any of those 3 squares. So we'll use the big numbers to signal that, like, we know that this belongs here. And we'll use the little numbers to signal that, hey, maybe there's a 3 in this box, but maybe not. So we found a 1, we found a 2, we've marked where our 3s might go. This box already has a 4, a 5, and a 6. 7 is next. So can any of these boxes have a 7? Not quite, because if you see from this number 7 right here, this is the only 7 in this whole column, so nothing else in this column can be a 7, which means that this box here can't have a 7 in it. But this one can, and this one can, so we'll add our 2 tiny little 7s to show that maybe there's a 7 there, but maybe not. Let's go back to our box. So our box here already has an 8. It's a little covered, but there's an 8 there that'll come back in a second. Our box is missing a 9 though, and it looks like we can have a 9 in any of these 3 boxes. So we'll add our little 9s to our boxes because maybe there's a 9 in one of these boxes, maybe not. This row is almost filled in. So let's try to fill it in with possibilities, a list of numbers that might go inside, just like we did with the box. So looking at this column, I see that the column already has a 1. It already has a 2. It doesn't have a big number 3 yet. So let's fill in all of the places where there might be a 3. There could be a 3 here. There could be a 3 here. Not here because there's already a 3 in this row. And there could be a 3 here. So we'll add our little number 3s. This column doesn't have a 4 either. So let's see where we might be able to put a 4. We could put a 4 here. We can't put a 4 here because there's already a 4 in this row. We can't put a 4 here because there's already a 4 in this row. And we can't put a 4 here because there's already a 4 in the same box. So remember, every row, column, and box can only have one of each number. So it looks like this box up here was the only place where we could add a 4. And since that's the only place that a 4 might go, we can put it in big font so that we know that that's for sure a 4. No doubt about it. So we've added our 4. This row here that we're looking at already has a 5, it already has a 6, and it already has a 7. So then let's fill in where an 8 might go. This could potentially be an 8. This square here could potentially be an 8. This one can't because there's already an 8 in this row. And that's it for our blank boxes. So let's add in our 2 little 8s here and here, because maybe there's an 8, but maybe not. But there's a possibility that there's an 8. And finally, we'll move on to 9. So this square could be a 9. This square could be a 9. And this square could be a 9. So we added in the little 9s. Now let's take a look at this row. This row has a lot of numbers in it. It's almost filled in. Let's see if we can list which numbers might fit to fill in the row. So in this row, we already have a 1, and we already have a 2, but we don't have a big 3 yet. Let's see. This square could be a 3, this square could be a 3, this square could be a 3, this square could be a 3. So they all could be 3s, but maybe not. So let's add in our little 3s just to show that. This row that we're looking at already has a 4, but it doesn't have a 5 yet. So let's go one at a time and see where a 5 might fit. There could be a 5 here. There can't be a 5 here because there's already a 5 in this box, and we can only have one 5 in each box. So this one can't be a 5. This one here could be a 5. This one here. And this one can't be a 5. Can you see why? Well, it's because there's already a 5 in this column here. So the only places where we could have a 5, if you remember, were this square and this square. So let's add in our little 5s. Maybe one of those is a 5, but maybe not. This row already has a 6 in it. It does not have a 7. Let's see. This square could be a 7. This one can't because there's already a 7 in this column. This square could be a 7, and this square could be a 7. So let's add in our little 7s to show that maybe there's a 7 there. This row that we're looking at already has an 8. It doesn't have a 9 though, so let's go in and add where there might be a 9. This square might be a 9. This square might be a 9. This one can't because there's already a 9 in this column. And this one can't because there's already a 9 in this column as well. So just this square and this square might be a 9. So we'll add in our little 9s to show that there might be one. Now let's look at this column. The column's almost filled in. So let's see if we can list with the little numbers which numbers might fit into this column. I don't see a big 1 yet. So let's go through. This square could be a 1. This square can't because there's already a 1 in this row. This square could be a 1, and this square could be a 1. So let's add those in. We already have a 2 in our column. Let's look at 3s. This square could be a 3, this square could be a 3, this square could be a 3, and this square could be a 3. They could all be 3s, so let's add in our little 3s to show that. This column we're looking at already has a 4 and a 5, so let's look at the number 6. This square cannot be a 6 because we already have a 6 in this row. This square cannot be a 6 because we already have a 6 in this row. This square could be a 6. This square cannot be a 6 because we already have a 6 in the same row. So it looks like there's only one option for the 6 in this column. And since there's only one place where the 6 might be, we know that this box has to be a 6. And so we can make that a big number 6 to show that it's the correct number. We know for sure. So we have 6. What about 7? This box could be a 7. This box could be a 7. Or this box could be a 7. So let's add in our little 7s here. And this column already has an 8 and it already has a 9, so that's all we can do for now. Let's take a look at this box that's almost filled in. It already has a 1 and a 2. What about 3? Well, we could put a 3 here, or here, or here, or here. So pretty much all of them could be a 3. There's already a number 4. We added that in. How about 5? We could put a 5 here or here. Not in this row because of this 5 here, and not in this column because of this 5 way down here that's in the same column. So the only ones that could possibly be a 5 are these two right here. Let's write that in with our little 5s. Now let's look at 6s. We could put a 6 here, here, or here. Not here because of the 6 in this row or this column already, and not here because of the 6 in this column already. So the only places that there might be a 6 are these 3 squares right here. This box already has a 7. Let's look at the number 8. We could have a number 8 here, here, or here. Not here because there's already an 8 in this row, and not here because there's already an 8 in this column. So the only places where we might have an 8 are here, here, and here. And we added in our little 8s. How about 9? We could put a 9 here, here, or here. Not in this row because there's already a 9 in this row. So just these 3 boxes might be a 9. And that's all we can do for now. But if you notice, this box, the only possible thing it can be is a 3. There are no other options for any of the other numbers. So since it's just a lonely little 3 all by itself, let's make that a big 3. We know for sure that this square is a 3, and since we're sure, we can make it a big number, like it's permanent. And that means that these ones here aren't possible anymore because they're in the same box for the 3. So let's get rid of any of the little 3s that are in the same box. Let's try to fill this box in with the number 3. Can you see where it goes? There's a 3 that we just added in this row, so not any of these 3 box squares. And there's already a 3 in this row, so probably not a 3 in any of these squares. The only choice left is this one right here. So by process of elimination, we know that this square must be a 3. Can we add a 3 in this square as well? Let's see. So no more 3s in this column because we already have a 3 in this column. No more 3s in this column because there's already a 3 in this column. And so if this is not a 3 and this is not a 3, well, this is the only option left. So we know that that square right there is a 3. And whenever we add in a big number like that, we should get rid of the little 3s that are also in that box because they can't be in the same box with that 3. We've eliminated some choices. And we can erase the other tiny 3s in this row too. Since there's only one 3 in each row, and this is a 3, we know that this can't be, and this can't be. So let's get rid of those. And when we've done that, we see that 7 is the only number that's going to fit here. So we know that this one should be a big 7. And that means that we can get rid of all of the other 7s in the same box, in the same row, and in the same column. So we've got rid of all of those. And look what happened here. 5 is our only choice for this box. So we know that for sure this box has a 5 in it. Let's make it bigger. And then whenever we write a big number, we should get rid of the little 5s in the same row, column, and box, which I think is just this one here. And now 9 is the only option for this box. So let's make it bigger. We know for sure that this one's a 9. And we've completed this row. You'll see that it contains the numbers 1 through 9 exactly. And we finished a row. We also see here that the only options for this box are 1 and 3. But there's already a 3 in the same row. So we know that it can't be a 3. The only option for this box here is a 1. So let's make that bigger. We know for sure that that's a 1. And get rid of the other ones in the same column. So that's this one right here. But now the only option for this box is a 3. So let's make that final. And we've completed a row with the numbers a column, excuse me, with the numbers 1 through 9. Let's take a look at this row. We have a 1, a 2, and a 3. How about 4s? This could be a 4. This could be a 4. Let's add in our little 4s. We already have a 5 and a 6. How about 7? This could be a 7. This one could, and this one could. They could all be 7s. Let's add in our 7s. How about 8? This could be an 8. This one can't because there's already an 8 here. This one can't because there's already an 8 in this column. But this one could. So let's add in our little 8s. Now for 9. This could be a 9. This could be a 9. But these two can't because there's already a 9 in the same box. So just the two on the left. We'll add in little 9s. Aha! The only possible number that can go here is a 7. So we know for sure that this box needs a 7. And we can get rid of all of the little 7s in the same row. And when we've done that, the only option for this box is an 8. So we know for sure that this box is an 8. And we can remove the 8s in the row, which the little 8s in the same row, which I think is just this one. This column is almost full, so let's try to fill it out. It doesn't have any 1s yet, so this can't be a 1 because of this 1 in the same row. This could be a 1. This can't be a 1 because of the 1 in the same row, but this one could. So let's fill in our 1s. 2. This could be a 2. This can't because of the 2 in the same row. This can't because of the 2 in the same row, but this one could. So let's add in our little 2s. Time for 3. This could be a 3. This could. This could. This one can't because there's already a 3 in the same box. So just those top ones. This column already has a 4. What about 5? These can't be a 5 because there's already a 5 in the same box. Oh, wait, our column already has a 5, so we don't need to worry about 5. Let's go on to 6. This could be a 6. This could be a 6. This could. This can't because there's already a 6 in the same box. So let's add our little 6s in. How about 7? This could be a 7. This can't because there's already a 7 in the same row. Oh, look, our column already has a 7. Silly me. So we don't need to worry about 7 or 8 for that matter, or 9. We filled in everything we can already. Let's try to fill more in this box. Let's start with 1. Looks like all of these could be a 1. So we have a little 1 in all of these boxes. As for 2, these could be 2s, but this can't because there's already a 2 in the same row. We have a 3, we have a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, and 8. How about 9? These ones can be 9s, but this one can't because there's already a 9 in the same column. And look what's happened here. So in this box, it's missing a 7 and a 9, right? We already know that this is either a 7 or a 9, and this is either a 7 or a 9. But either way, there's a 9 in this row. So we know that this one here can't be a 9, regardless of which one of these is the 9. So let's get rid of the 9 here, and that means that our only option for this square is a 1. So let's make that official. Get rid of all of the other 1s in the same box. And now this square here, the only option is a 2. So let's make that official, make it bigger, and get rid of all of the other little 2s in that box and in that column, because there was one up here that we removed. But now the only option for this box is a 9. So let's make it official, we'll make it bigger, and look, we've completed one of the boxes. Let's try to fill out this box next. So if we're looking for 1s, this row can't be a 1 because there's already a 1 in this row. And there's already a 1 in this column. So if we take out this row and this column, the only place where there could be a 1 is right here. So we know that this one has to be a 1. How about 2? There's already a 2 in this row. There's already a 2 in this column. So the only places where we might have a 2 are here and here. How about 3? There's already a 3 in this row, right here. But any of these could be 3s, it looks like. So let's add in our 3s. This box already has a 4 and a 5. How about 6? It looks like any of these could be 6s. 7, there's already a 7 in this row. There's already a 7 in this row. There's already a 7 in this column. So the only place where we could possibly put a 7 is right here. So let's make that official. And when we look here, this is the only place of these 3 remaining squares where we might be able to put a 2. So since a 2 can't go here or here, it has to go here. Let's go ahead and make this a big 2, make it official. And now this is the only box of the 9 with the big grid missing a 2. So can you see where the 2 is supposed to go? We have a 2 in this row. We have a 2 in this row, so we know that the 2 has to go on the top row somewhere. We have a 2 in this column, and we have a 2 in this column. So the 2 in this box must go up here. and we found all of the 2's. Let's try to fill in this box. So there's 1's in this row. There's a 1 in this row already. So these are the only 2 squares that might be 1's. This box already has a 2. There's a 3 in this column. So these are the only squares that might be 3's. For 4, it looks like any of these could be a 4. For 5, there's already a 5 in this column and in this row. So one of these 2 has to be a 5. We already have a 6 in this box. We don't have a 7. There's already a 7 in this column, so it looks like only these 3 could be 7's. Oh no, because here, look what happened here. So we know that there's a 7 in this column, or in this row already. So that eliminates all 3 of these. And since there's already a 7 in this column, this is the only place where you might have a 7. So let's make that official, which means that this is the only place that could be a 1. So let's make that official, make it a big 1. Can we try to place a 1 in this square? Let's see. It can't be in this row because there's already a 1 in this row. It can't be in this row because there's already a 1. And it can't be in this column because there's already a 1 here. So this is the only square left where we might be able to add a 1. This box already has a 2 and a 3. How about 4?